Hey, I got a package.
How you doing?
Pretty good. Probably just grab a picture of it real quick if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Perfect. Thanks, have a good one. I say I need a picture of the package, but I'm actually just collecting pictures of their feet. When I first signed up for all of these side hustle apps back in 2022, I was denied from being a Lyft driver because they have a minimum age requirement of 25. The support agent politely told me to check back in a few years in March of 2025 and he'll get me onboarded. I was like, yeah, there's no way I'll still be doing these apps when I'm 25 years old. Pretty spread out stops today. My first stop was 15 minutes from the warehouse and my second stop is 15 minutes from here. And then my next one after that is also 15 minutes into the city. Oh, 17 minutes to my next stop. Holy heck. At the time, I was certain that I'd be doing them for 6 months max. And then by then, I'd be swimming in cash again from my other ventures like YouTube and whatever else I get working on. But as of today, 25 is kind of right around the corner. And here we are. Hey, you got a delivery for Amazon?
Oh, yeah.
One-time password for it if you have your app.
Yeah, give me some.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay,
there we go.
826.
Perfect. There we go.
Thank you much.
Yeah, for sure. Hope you have a good night. There is good news though. A lot of flex drivers do this as their full-time income, just to sustain their monthly expenses and really nothing more. And I related when I first started because I was doing it as a way to pay all of my bills after I shut down a business I was working on, as well as stepping back from YouTube to just take a breather out of the spotlight, at least for a few months. But now that I'm out of my slump and have the motivation to work on stuff like new YouTube series and projects like renting out my house and joining Turo, I'm grateful to say that Amazon Flex is no longer just keeping my head above water. Driver must use revolving door to security desk located in the center hallway, check in with security to gain access to each floor, must deliver to each suite, do not leave packages at main entrance. Instead, I'm trying to weaponize it against the banks that I owe money to. Some people think I'm too comfortable with debt, and I admit, I do enjoy borrowing me some money, so as long as the interest rate's good. With that said, I do want to pay back any loan that isn't actively making me money, especially if they're not cash flow positive. Revolving door is locked. Uh-oh, how unfortunate is that? So far this year, I've made $29,000 in payments on my wide variety of loans. Getting the notification that my early payment has posted is such an incredible dopamine rush, which has resulted into a nicotine level addiction of making early payments. If I get a commission on an e-bike sale, that's an early payment. If I get a new YouTube sponsor payout, that's another early payment. Or if I find $1 just on the ground, I stick it in an ATM because that is an early payment. On the surface, it felt kind of dumb to make an early $100 payment once a week instead of just waiting to do a single early payment of $400 at the end of the month. I mean, it doesn't save interest to do 4 separate payments, and it just requires extra steps, but the difference for me has been psychological. Because I wake up the next day, I see the email that my payment's posted, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. And so that brings us to today. At the start of the year, I paid off my medical loan, which was just a few $1,000s, nothing crazy, and it was 0 APR, so there was actually no rush at all to pay it off, but it still felt nice to just stop receiving and paying bills from that bank. A few months later, I paid off my $12,000 personal loan, and making that final payment was so much fun, I decided I would see if I could knock out a third loan by the end of this year. There's 2 common methods for paying debts, that being the snowball method and the avalanche method. The avalanche prioritizes your highest interest loan first, And that obviously saves you money and interest. But I went for what is objectively a worse financial decision. And you know, I love making financial mistakes. And so I did the snowball method, where you pay the smallest balance first, then you pay the second smallest balance, all the way up to the largest balance. And again, it's entirely psychological for me, because seeing the total number of accounts drop is more satisfying than saving money in interest. And yes, this is insane, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I have free will, so I do it anyways. And so, it was time to pay off my car. I purchased this 2019 black on white standard range plus Tesla Model 3 with full self-driving in 2019. Well, obviously, because yeah, it was a 2019 car. That's right, I financed a brand new $50,000 car while living at my parents' house and with no job. A lot of times you'll have this aspiration and you'll think to yourself, once I attain it, once I achieve it, I'll finally be happy. I'll finally feel fulfilled, it's gonna solve all my problems, but then you actually achieve it, and you realize you don't really feel any different. If anything, you just feel kind of empty, because you were chasing a dream for nothing. Yeah, I honestly cannot relate to this at all. Buying this car was actually everything I dreamed of, and more, somehow. I still vividly remember speccing it out on the website, asking a few friends if I should click order, and then I finally do, and I wait for my mom to come home to show her my order confirmation. And she was like, Alex, what the heck? And then going to the delivery center, being handed the key, and sitting inside it for the first time. I'm doing a fresh shift. It's a $30 base pay plus tips, so I don't know how much I'll make exactly. Hopefully, I'll clear $50 in 2 hours. However, my second stop is 27 minutes away from or 28 minutes from my first stop, 20 miles. I know not everyone gets as excited over a hunk of metal on wheels as I do. I know some of you do. But honestly, just the memory of delivery day alone was kind of worth this whole purchase. A lot of people will buy a new car and joke about finding excuses to drive it for any reason, to go run an errand, to go to see whoever. You don't even want to see them, you just want to get in your car and drive it again because it's your new car and you want to drive it. They peek out the window and see their new car sitting in their driveway that first morning and then that second morning, and it's just so surreal at first. They park the car, and then while getting out and walking into the store, they kind of turn around and peek at their new car, and they might even snap a pic of it real quick. Oh my god, sorry. And I always hear the same thing from people when it comes to purchasing cars. Okay, sure, a new car is special at first, but after so many days or weeks or months, it just becomes your car. It becomes your new normal, and you pretty soon start to fantasize about your next new car. I also cannot relate to this at all. They rolled my Tesla in, and I drove it out of the delivery room with 4 miles on the odometer. Today, the car has 140,000 miles on it, and somehow I still get excited every day I get to drive it. The first week of ownership, I was coming up with any reason I could hop in and get on the road, and 5.5 years later, I still do that. When I was 19, I was peeking out the window, of the house, just to get a glimpse of my dream car sitting there. Wow, it's actually there. I actually got it. Now I'm 24, and I walk into my kitchen, and still, all this time later, I get a glimpse of the car, and I'm like, oh my. I can't believe that dream car is actually in my driveway. Everyone saying I'll get used to owning my dream car was telling the fattest lie of their life. And I am so grateful that I did not fall for their dirty little lies. If I could go back in time, I would buy the exact same spec of the exact same car at the exact same time again. Over the past 5 years, I've driven it to my favorite places. I used it to meet a dozen different online friends in real life. I car camped in it countless of times, got pulled over more than 0 times, and I used it to build emerald scales. It transported hundreds of animals, thousands of online orders, and of course, it introduced me to vinyl wrapping, which led to upwards of 100 locals chatting with me around town every month because the car was attracting so much attention. Just because it was a different color, it was crazy. It still happens. And of course, there's the gig apps. It's transported 1,000 Uber passengers, 8,000 Amazon packages, and a few hundred food and grocery deliveries. And once I threw a hitch on the car, I became kind of unstoppable. The car turned into a work truck as well. It's hauled everything from my trash to appliances to bikes and it has served me perfectly for my weekly Home Depot runs when I get that sudden lumber craving. So in short, the car has already brought me so much more than $50,000 in value, but again, there's one problem. I still don't truly own it. The bank holds the title to my car, because it's not really my car, it's kind of their car, until they get their money back, plus some interest. So when I bought it in 2019, I put $25,000 down, and then I borrowed the remaining $25,000 from Wells Fargo at a 3.99% interest rate for 72 months. That's right, 6 years on my loan. And so, after getting rid of a few of my other loans, I decided it was time to destroy this one as well. And what better way to do it than with the car itself? At the start of recording this footage, which was at the end of September, the car had a remaining balance of $2,000, so I expected that I'd be able to pay it off within 25 to 30 Amazon shifts, so I set my goal payoff date to be Halloween. I banged out 1 to 2 shifts a day until I hit $2,000. I also just love delivering in October for Amazon. I did the previous 2 years and I wanted to do it again. The weather is perfect because it's just nice and crispy. I don't overheat, I'm not sweating, and I get to enjoy all of the just elaborate and creative Halloween decorations that everyone has. Because yeah, the Christmas decorations are cool, but they're not quite as unique as the Halloween ones. Also, Amazon Flex has just become such a mindless side hustle for me that I can honestly do it in my sleep, and I probably kind of have with how tired I am sometimes. 1,000 hours of delivering packages means nothing comes as a surprise at this point, and I know what to do in every situation. So I can just zone out, get the job done, and use the time to listen to music, listen to audiobooks, listen to podcasts, make phone calls, or just do a lot of thinking. The majority of work and projects I've done involves a lot of focus and communication and active brain usage, like script writing and editing and negotiating with companies, accounting work, making sales, and it uses a lot of my brain actively. But this is one of those few experiences where I'm paid to go on mental autopilot, leaving one of my most valuable resources, my brain, with 100 IQ, might I mention, completely open. The majority of my ideas come to me while I am at the beach. Like if I can't figure something out, I just have to drive east until I see the ocean, and then I get out of my car, and then I sit there for a while, and then the answer just comes to me. It's actually pretty great. Most recently, I came up with the plan for my roommate series that viewers either loved or hated during a trip I took to the coast. This is a somewhat unrelated story, but I thought I'd throw it in here for anyone that did watch that series. And if not, I'll link it below because I really love how that series came out. Basically, I went to the beach with my parents during a month that my tenants were way behind on paying me rent for a couple rooms in my house. Everyone I knew thought that I should just evict them, and so I spent this trip thinking about what I should do. At the end of the trip, the answer came to me, and I told my parents, okay, I know what I need to do. I'm gonna buy them a Tesla. And so 24 hours later, after we get back into town, I showed up to my parents' house in a new Tesla. And the best part to me, I don't even think she realizes this, but she hit me with her famous quote where she said, "Alex, what the heck?" That's exactly what she said to me, word for word, 5 years ago when I was still living with them, when I showed her the purchase receipt for buying my first Tesla. Look, when the beach gives me an answer, I just don't question it anymore. I just do it. And somehow it's always worked out, like even better than I could have imagined. So anyway, the second most common environment for my decisions and my ideas has been while I'm on the road with an Amazon vest on. And this Flex Marathon to pay off the Tesla was no exception. So in the end, it ended up taking just over 80 hours of deliveries across about a 2-week span to earn the $2,000 necessary to make my final payment. All the while, I worked on a game plan for what's to come after I've paid it off. I'm editing another video right now, a Turo video, and I've just been refreshing my phone, like literally it just sits here and I just refresh as I edit. And I just casually got a $105 3-hour shift starting in 40 minutes. Holy heck, that's so good. What? Man, I did not expect that at all. Okay, well, I've got to get going now. Okay, today we've got 48 stops, 4 hours, $96. I need to stop getting McDonald's. I've been getting McDonald's for 20 days in a row. I need to stop, but it's so gosh darn cheap. But please tell me to stop eating McDonald's in the comments. I need to stop, actually. Like really bad. At least I'm eating, right? Ugh. And so, 28 shifts and about 700 or 800 packages, my dream car was paid off. Now, I was familiar with the feeling of financial obligation being lifted from my shoulders. I have a lot of blue today. In my blue vest, in my blue car, under the blue sky. But not feeling blue, I'm feeling epic. And I hope you are too. But I did not expect what was to come the next day. I woke up after I made the payment, feeling super accomplished, as usual. My pants are falling down. But I did some stuff around the house, got ready to run some errands, and when I got in the car, I closed the door, and I'm like, whoa, I actually own this car now. It was like all of a sudden, it felt like I had been lying to myself and lying to others for the past 5 years. I had never owned a Tesla. All I did was drive one. It wasn't until this very moment that I finally actually own my dream car. And once I realized that, and once I realized the dishonesty I had kind of had with myself, now I couldn't stop smiling. It felt like genuinely goofy to be so happy over this accomplishment. Like nothing tangibly changed. I didn't even have the title in hand yet, since Wells Fargo just hadn't mailed it to me yet. I had just made the payment, but I could just already feel the difference. And it felt good. It felt very good, actually. Now, I will admit, there's been times over the past 5 years where I considered selling or trading in this car. Don't tell her. She doesn't know. Or actually, it's a he. I'm gay. No serious plans, but fleeting thoughts where I kind of wondered if it's worth upgrading, maybe do a Tesla with more range, or with a second motor, or with better speakers, or just with newer technology, especially since the second generation Model 3, the Highland, is now available, and so I saw swapping mine out for the new version as a potential medium-term goal, like in a year, 2 years, 3 years. But now, it's been 3 days since I've made that final payment, and in the past 3 days, I've realized how much I don't want to upgrade now, because I just am really enjoying randomly remembering, like, oh yeah, I don't owe anything for this car anymore. I can do whatever I want with it now. And what I want to do, at least for now, is drive it until the wheels fall off. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not to say I won't take more loans in the future. After all, I'm certainly not going to buy a beach house in cash, and I am buying a beach house. I'm getting that beach house. However, my goal is to keep my borrowing power as open as possible in order to make that next financial dream attainable sooner than later. Hey, I got a package.
Oh, hello.
Didn't mean to sneak up on you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, have a good one. As a final note, if you're looking to drive for Amazon Flex, sadly, you probably can't, honestly. The waitlist is really long as of recording this video, but that's not to say you can't make money on the side and while using your own car, because there are a ton of opportunities all over, many of which I probably don't even know about, but you might be able to find. Like, you just got to go out and find them, honestly. Some real examples, if you happen to be in my region, include other apps like Uber and DoorDash, or looking at more established companies like UPS, which is currently hiring seasonal drivers using your own car. Another example, I recently ordered an Uber for myself just to get a ride, and the driver said his other side hustle is delivering medical supplies to various hospitals. So yeah, I'd never heard of that before. But just because you can't get on Flex doesn't mean you can't make some sort of side cash with local opportunities around you, be it for a small business or stuff like DoorDash just in another region. And if you do find any, I'd be curious to hear what opportunities you come across. And so with that, thank you, Jeff Bezos. I know, Jeff, you have some beef with Elon, but it was very kind of you to pay off my Tesla. I appreciate it. What if I do the final shift, I submit the payment, it's paid off, and then it just dies? The battery's just bricked. I guess I would start part 2 of this series of paying off my new Tesla Model 3. Last stop. Okay. Okay, on to my last stop. I'm tired. I've been up for a bit. It is 7 a.m., 3.5 hours. It was 33 stops, so not bad. Could be worse. I've been getting a lot of 48 stops lately, so 33, I'll take it. It's 6:30 p.m. now. Got a 4.5 hour, where's my package? 4.5 hour, 39 stops, 90, this is the wrong package. Oh my God. $99. Not a very good shift money-wise, but 99 bucks is 99 bucks. Oh, man, I am so out of it today. The problem is when I get an idea in my head, I just can't do anything else until I've accomplished it. So I'm willing to do worse times of day and worse rates if it means that I can see my goal accomplished sooner. So in that case, it's just getting this loan gone, so then I can take more loans. Some of you don't like that I no longer put packages on top of the steps. I leave them on the steps instead of like by the front door. It's partly to save time and energy, but because I'm lazy, of course, but also I've fallen through 2 staircases now. I kind of messed my leg up one of the times. I was on the wooden staircases that people just build like in front of mobile homes, and yeah, I just shot straight through. As well as a lot of the bricks on the brick stairs just are not stable and they just fall out. So basically I just kept slipping and it's a pain in the ass. So I would rather just get a ding because I left the package too far away from the front door than fall through another staircase. Maybe this is bad, but with houses that have bricks that are not actually like stuck in, that are just loose, I've started just taking the bricks out of their staircase because I know that drivers are going to come after me and they're probably going to step on it because the homeowner knows which step like is bad. So could these dangerous steps be avoided if I just had an extra flashlight and paid closer attention to the ground? Yes, probably, but I don't want to do that. I want to go really fast. I got places to be. I got videos to edit. I punched like a girl. Like a little bitch. Like a little baby bitch. Like a fucking little baby bitch. Like a tiny little shitty fucking baby bitch. Hey, how's it going? Got a package for you.
Okay, thank you.
She scared the shit out of me. I didn't see her there. I forgot. I'm so used to doing the night shift. Nobody's awake, but people keep startling me because they're awake at 7 p.m. What do you know? People are up at 7 p.m. The audacity. What the f? It's not even the Halloween decorations that are scaring me. Their sewage is like open. Someone like flushed a toilet and it just shot through. I want to be scared by Halloween decorations, not by sewage. I'm hungry. 2.5 hours in. I used to finish 4.5 hour shifts in like 3 hours. Like I'd be home after 3 hours, but Not anymore, more like 4 to 4.5. It's almost like it's accurate now. Oh no, we stay losing. Herpists stay losing. Speaking of herpists, I just mentioned this on the Discord server. This is my favorite analogy for everything. Anytime anyone's complaining about their job, I just send them a video of Indonesians 65 feet underwater mining for metal with an air tube that gets pinched by someone on top of the boat in order to communicate with them like Morse code. So you get your oxygen deprived as they're trying to talk to you, and they make like $1 per day. Whenever I'm about to complain about, oh, I'm only making 18 an hour on Amazon, I just remember that I could be 65 feet under the ocean making $1 a day. I'm not. I'm in an air-conditioned car. I was doing some math. I'm not one to get, like, I don't drink coffee or anything, but sometimes pretty often I'll get a like $5 drink of some kind. Maybe it's like a Starbucks Frappuccino, and it's about $5 to $6, and it adds up. It's $180 a month if you get it every day. And I was like, I wonder how much that would save me in interest if I was putting that towards a loan. If you were in my position and you buy coffee every morning for $6, you would save $20,000 in interest if you put that towards my mortgage instead, which is insane. So now I feel like I should just scrape together $5 a day of some kind to put it towards my loan. Imagine if I did 500 extra like per month or something. That would save me so much money. Money's not the most important thing. It's the second most. Time is the most important than money. Money can buy you time. So it's like, how much time do I spend versus money? I think it's a constant balance of like, some people spend every waking second trying to just pay off debt or getting out of debt or whatever, saving money. I'm not risk averse, I guess, because I'm not trying to be debt free. I'm probably going to be in debt my whole life, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean debt is actually useful. Like, what's one of my long-term goals? Buy a beach house. Am I buying it in cash? No, I'm going to take out a loan and get more debt to get my beach house. However, in the short term, I need to open up the time that would otherwise be spent paying my current loans so that I can work on projects that will hopefully make me enough money to buy a beach house. So in short, I'm literally paying off debt so that I can take out a bigger amount of debt. And of course, I think the difference also is trying to be cash flow positive. Ideally, the beach house will be an investment. So the same way I took a $20,000 loan on the second Tesla, it's cash flow positive. Why did I buy the first house? It was because I needed warehouse space. And I figured it would make more sense to buy a house than buy a warehouse because I could also live in it. It's easier to work out of a house than it is to live in a warehouse. And I'm glad I did because I'll probably do a full video on this because I closed the business like a year after buying the house. So imagine if I had bought a warehouse or leased a warehouse. So now the house has been losing money for a couple years. So that's why I'm getting roommates to try and make that cash flow positive. And then the beach house will be rented out. Probably. I don't know. The details on the beach house are far enough away that I'm not really thinking about it. But yeah, that's pretty much like when I'm doing this, it's because I'm thinking about goals. There's also the thing of materialism. For example, cars. Yes, I like cars. I don't really have any. I have one car that I want to get next year. So when it comes to materialism, I fall victim to it. I don't think it's bad per se, but I'm not immune to advertising and materialism, and I buy stuff that I like. However, I don't think, so I've basically been reflecting, like, by dedicating my whole life to the whole beach house goal, is that just me getting too much into materialism? But in reality, I don't care about the house itself. I only want it for the experiences it'll bring. And I like it because it's a very realistically attainable and very clear, simple thing. Oh, what are your goals? Buy a beach house. The first thing people usually say when I say I want a beach house is A, the insurance is going to be expensive. So yeah, okay, I know. B, what if your property erodes? What if it floods? What if the house catches fire? Like, I don't care about the beach house. If it burns down, hopefully I have the right insurance. If it floods, hopefully I have the right insurance. It would suck if I lost money on it, but yeah, kind of like my current house. I don't want anything to happen to it, but if it burned down, I wouldn't really be fazed. I have a fireproof container with the important stuff, and it's pretty small. Nothing else in there matters. McDonald's, oh my goodness. This is part of the herp routine, the herptine. The herp routine, because my channel's Go Herping. So speaking of spending $6 a day, I will say, like, yes, I could put this $6 towards my loan and save $20,000 in interest, but also I could eat a 10-count nugget. Oh, I have 12,000 points. Holy heck, guys. Should I use some points? I'm a Brian Johnson enjoyer, so I feel like I should say don't eat McDonald's, it's garbage, but I'm going to anyway. Do as I say, not as I do. I don't know. Eat McDonald's if you want. Don't let me stop you. McDonald's. I love carcinogenic food. Make people fat and cancerous, so I feel bad when I'm like, this is good. It's good, but just remember you will end up fat and cancerous. Unless you're me and you'll just get cancer and nothing else. Let me know in the chat. Would you rather be fat or have cancer? Answer the poll below. Because McDonald's is doing a 2-for-1 deal where you can get both if you use 10,000 points. It's not super wet today. Sometimes the Quarter Pounders are very wet, like they were dipped in a bucket of water before being handed to me. Very dry, in a good way today. You want a dry Quarter Pounder, in my opinion. It's getting chilly again. I usually don't run the heat to save battery. It uses like, I don't know, 5% per hour probably to run the heat. So 4-hour shift, that's 20% usage, which, isn't bad, but I'd kind of rather just save that energy. $300 shifts later, and that final swipe still feels quite good. I hear a little cha-ching in the back of my head. It's on the head, because I'm clinically insane. Okay, now I go home and do other stuff. The thing is, I don't really want to do other stuff. I just wish I could go do another shift right now to just go finish this goal. But no, I have to go live my life elsewhere. Okay, and that's why I don't use heating, because I'm gonna get home with 11%, which if I had used heating this whole time, I would have to stop and charge. So do I want to be cold and take longer? Or wait, do I want to be cold and get home sooner? Or be comfy and get home longer? I pick cold usually. Yeah, 99, 4.5, 39 stops. On to the next one. It is 4 p.m. on a Saturday, on a beautiful day, so lots of kids and families. The best Amazon shift is the one without vehicular manslaughter. I like those shifts. Go Herping says no vehicular manslaughter during Amazon shifts. 27, what the hell? All the way to the bottom. What? Maybe the other side? 227. Oh, it's on the other side. Five, 6. That squirrel let me get so close. Next one's on the other side. So many, oh my god, there's so many Amazon here. I'm the 4th one that pulled, or that's the 4th one that pulled up. I was the 3rd. It's so funny, because in neighborhoods, it's like, when I'm driving around, it's like nobody lives there. It's like there's just Amazon vans and flexers. Where's all the people? 7, 3, 4, what? Whoops. So, if you want to see more on side hustles, you can check out my full Gig App playlist. If you want to see more on cars, you can check out my Subaru series. Or if you want to see more of both, you can check out my new Turo series.